Oh, hello. You know, yeah, I just don't get it sometimes. I've been like watching a lot of stuff lately, and I was like, people sure know what they're talking about. They sure know how what the key to life really is. They really know. You know, you can see how the experience they have. It rivals people who don't have that experience, who don't decide to do that. You know, it really rivals. Like, oh my gosh, if you was doing this, nobody would be saying this stuff about you. Or, if this company was doing this, man, this would have been a lot better. Or, things like that. It's like, oh my gosh, how have they never think about that? How have they never like changed this? Like, like, oh, did they just don't give a fuck? Oh my gosh. And like, then, I see a lot of these people who are older or whatever talk about like certain people or certain like companies and such, and you just think by yourself because self thinking is original. I'm thinking on what everybody else is thinking, and then you come to the conclusion that everybody has a thing they need to do it. Like companies usually, oh wow, they usually do something shady or whatever, but companies and like you know or they have to make money. They you can't take away the profit out of it just because they have a lot of power or a lot of control of everything. Like, oh man, if you stop these companies from doing this, then this will be solved. And it's like, no, it really wouldn't. It will only make it worse because now you're like, oh, yes, it obviously needs to be fixed, but being like, no, we don't need them. It comes from you know Woody's second video he made about opinions and things, and that is one of those opinions where everybody got that. Oh my gosh. And sometimes people take it as facts and be like, no, yep. And it's like, no, you all are dumb. You obviously don't know what nothing is. Uh, so I'm just gonna shout out the title right here, right now, because why not? Well, I mean, it's two sides of this, but stop telling people what they should and should not do. It's just simple as that, but people don't get that. They just don't. They think that, oh, their way. Like I said in the beginning, oh yeah, they have all the secrets to life. This is how this should be. Like, no one has the secrets to life. Okay, nobody does. You think you do, you really don't. That's called being delusional. You think you do. Thinking is not knowing. First of all, like I said, just because yeah, it's a thing where just because you want to do it doesn't mean that everybody want to do it. Your way of life or the way of living may be cool for you and other people, but to some other people who don't be like that, they'd be like, no, we want to live this way. And you're like, no, you should live this way because this is easier and people will like you. And that's the key thing, people. And that's the key thing that I think that a lot of no, I think, please, no, I know because like I've seen it. Like I've been watching YouTube for a long time. Pretty sure people watched it longer than I did, but I watched it long enough to know that some of these people who be saying this or that are super knowledgeable, like what people. like. Like, one of those things they like is for other people to like them, you know? That's the point, you know? For other people to care about them, to like them, to be agreeing with them, what they say, and, all that, you know? Oh, this guy is cool, and now you got a fan base that likes you and agrees with what you say. So it's like, oh wow, he really saying facts, which it's like you guys are all going to his side because of course you like him. You're his fans or people. You see, the people. Like I said before, what a lot of these people like is other people liking them. On this channel, we don't give a fuck. Honestly, we say whatever the fuck we want to say about people and whatever, because being true to us, or to what you or I want to be, is important to either you or I. And if other people don't want to do that, that's their problem, and that's what they want to do, and whatever. But it's like, yeah, that's what a lot of people like. They like that. Oh, if I say this, people might like agree with me. People like me more. I get more subscribers, more followers if I do this. If I donate to cancer, if I donate to charity or whatever, if I donate to the streamer. Oh, man, he's such a great guy. Go subscribe to him. Have more followers than you ever had before. And people that like you. And because you're doing this for people for people to like you in the first place. And that's a toxic thing right there. Because not everybody likes you for you on the internet. And if people really knew that, would be thinking that. But they don't. Like, people will just like you just to like you. People just bandwagon, of course. Then there's people who like you for your religion or whatever, or just fake like you for your religion, like fakers and whatever. And then, like, you got different types of people, types of fans. You got the real fans, and then you got these other ones that, that are pacific, Some of them are still real because, like, oh yeah, have the same religion or whatever. Some of them are just not fans. They just like, well, I mean, what did you subscribe for? No reason. Just because. And it's like, oh, okay, right, okay. No explanation for any of that. It's like, oh, why did you believe in God? And it's like, who knows? I was like, what the freak? So, it's kind of with music as well. It's like, some people are just going to like the artist and what he says. Some people are just going to like the beat, just the beat. Like, they don't care about what he's saying. Like, oh, the beat is good. Oh, I'm staying. That's why it's like, music is so popular because of the beat. It's mainly the beat that a lot of people like. Some of these knowledgeable people will be like, oh, it's for not just the beat, but the lyrics as well. And some because of religion and all that other, things that come with that. But that's the main thing. People want people to like them, to agree with them, and that can be toxic. Because what you believe in and what everybody else believes in may not even be correct the way you're thinking it might be for everybody. And you thinking that it's for everyone is a big mistake on itself. Like, oh, being a good person is super cool, and you should do that. Everybody should do that. You have to, because if you don't, you get wrecked. And it's like, there's a lot of mean people in the world who are successful or whatever. And, it's like, whatever, right? You know, when you start thinking about the stuff that people say, and it's like, people have minds and choices for a reason. You know, they choose to do it, they choose to not do it. That's, again, that's their choice if they want to do what they want to do. Like, people just keep being like, oh no, you have to be this way, you have to be this way. And it's like, no, they don't. And again, it comes back to the title. Stop forcing people to do what they don't want to do. Stop thinking that your way is the only way to live in life. Because everybody don't want to live that way. Because again, it comes back to that concept that everybody would be the same if everybody was doing the same thing as you. Again, like I said, I swear people think they have the key to life. They think they have what, it needs to live life, but they don't. People live life, do things in different ways. Let them do that. Let mumble rappers be mumble rappers and talk about sex and cars and whatever. Sell their drugs. Yeah, it's not good for kids to die from drugs and die, in general, or like teenagers, But like being like, oh no, we should cancel that. What if the mumble rappers have somebody to feed, What if somebody in the record labels have something to feed? What about their families? What about them? Even if they didn't have families, what about what they got? Don't they got bills to pay, maybe, to feed themselves? You see, people really think that one thing goes one way. No, it goes multiple ways. If you think that somebody doing something for themselves is selfish, then the same goes for you. You're saying that, oh, this person shouldn't have a job because they're infecting people in bad ways. So then they jobless, and he's like, oh, wow. So who's selfish now? Who's selfish now? You're selfish for doing that. Just because you didn't like the music, just because you prefer lyrical rap, and people who don't sell drugs or don't do them, okay, so what? If they know they're gonna die, then let them be on that path. They want to do that. They made the choice to do it. What they say in school, in high school, is worry about yourself. Don't worry about everybody else. You could be, caring about people, but usually life starts with you. You don't wake up in somebody else's eyes like, oh my God, I'm somebody else. No, you wake up in your perspective. So you should be worrying about what you gotta do, and more or less of what everybody else was doing or needs to do, just because you think that you have the answers to life. You have the answers. Oh my gosh. You shouldn't raise your kids this way. It's kind of what he talked about in his second episode, like I said before. And I'm glad he made this point in that episode of opinions or facts, because like a lot of people's opinions, or a lot of people who are knowledgeable and being like, oh, this is facts, a lot of those facts turn out to be opinions when some other people argue against it. And when they argue against it, it's like, oh, you're a hater now. You're a hater because somebody's not agreeing with what you said that were facts. Oh, wow. You're a hater because you don't know how this works, okay? You don't understand how this goes. So now you're a hater. You're stupid now. And it's like, no. People have their own opinions about things. The best way to break down opinions is to logic them out. Duh, logic. Like, give up a nice, clear reason why you think that's dumb. Instead of being like, oh, shut up, you're stupid, your opinions don't matter, shut up, go to sleep, you just do something with yourself, Or don't argue with the opinion at all. Don't give it your energy. And just move on, Because people are going to disagree and agree with different things that you say is facts. No. Yeah, you might say, oh, you're stupid. But to them, it's like, no, you're stupid. And you're like, oh no, I know what life is. I know what these things are. They dumb. And it's like, those guys should be on an island somewhere. And it's like, well, what are they gonna eat on the island though? I mean, they gonna eat, but they ain't gonna be safe on the island. What if there's some animals on the island? Some creatures on the island that kills them. Now that's on you. It comes back to you now, being like, man, and now you have to deal with that, cause you said it. You probably had the motive to go ahead and be like, hey, let's move these people to another island, and all these people say yes, and now it's all on you and them, but mostly you, because you had the plan. You said it in the first place, so now it's happened, they're dead, and you're like, oh wow. Well, you probably shouldn't do that. You were like canceling them, like, oh, you ain't get out of here. You're so stupid. And that's another thing in this video that I want to talk about. Because people talk about it a lot, but again, it gets flipped on you because you don't really realize it. Is cancel culture, which I am not fully into, like, the definition, I guess. I mean, I think I know a little bit, so I guess, whatever. So, basically, have I been seeing of cancel culture, I've been seeing is like, certain shows with guys on it, like, like, let's just say Doctor Who or something, right? So he was there for a long time, and the show was cool, the show was awesome, right? And then, they come with a reboot, and now it's a girl. And then she's probably making guy jokes about penises or how they're trash, those things. And people don't like that because, like, oh, where's the original? Or if they're going to do a reboot, at least have the guy still, or, don't do it at all or whatever. And it's like, oh, wow. Or, like, certain characters being girls now because of, like, the females need to be in more movies. Well, you need to take that up with Hollywood. They're the ones that have a lot of these guys in these movies. They probably should have thought about that, but, they didn't because they didn't want to. They didn't need to because all the movies that guys were in were hits or not, but still were good or whatever. And now they're like, oh, no, we need the females to be in here. And now, like, with the race thing, and now it's like, no, now we need black people in these movies now. We need black Superman. We need, black Batman. We need black everybody, And then I think that's the most of the... That's what I've gotten from cancel culture. Like, no, this minority were not in there enough. So let's just get them all in there. Have a black producer, have all these people that are black on the movie set, so we can go ahead and have black actors and be cool, and more movies not die in horror movies either. You know, let's do that, and then we'll be cool, and then everybody will like the movie. And then you find out that people hate the movie because cancel culture. People don't like more people don't like it than the people who do. So it's like it's not a good move here. But if it still makes money, Hollywood doesn't care. But here comes the flip, though. Now, what I just described is people being like, "No." Well, I mean, I guess I could flip it on the other side, where it's like they don't want it to be a thing, which is another cancel culture. I guess that's what it is. Again, I'm not too, you know, in depth with it, but as I can understand it, it's like people don't want it, so they're like, no. So that's cancel in the name. So it's like, oh well, cancel this freaking movie about girls talking about boys being sucky and they have small penises and all that other jokes that a lot of Living Singles did the TV show. They did, but then they end up with men anyway. But anyway, besides that, it's like, oh, cancel this, oh, how all black stuff, man. Yeah, it's sad what's going on with their situation, but no, they don't need to be in every movie now. Like, why are we having this? Just cancel that, and that's not cool, because it would be interesting to see some black people in Hollywood, of course. I mean, besides the ones that are in there, but at the same time, it's like, don't cancel. Don't just be like, no, don't cancel. Why? Because you don't like it, and a bunch of people don't like it, so you just decide to cancel it and leave it as it is. Leave it as it is. Like, I understand leaving movies as it is, because the originals are always gonna be better than the reboots or whatever. But still, people have to make money, so yeah, you can kind of see where that goes. And again, that comes back to selfishness, where it's like, oh well, stop, don't do that. And it's like, no. If Hollywood wants to put forth some black people in Hollywood, then shouldn't that be a good thing? I mean, yeah, the thing behind it is not very good, but a lot of things are not good with Hollywood and all that other stuff anyway. So if that happens, you either like it or you don't. And then here comes the flip on people who are talking about other people here, is basically people are cancel culturing, if that's probably a word. I mean, everything's a word nowadays. But people don't get they're doing it, because it's like, oh wow, well, this is facts. Like, again, with the facts, like, oh my gosh, this song sucks, like I said with the mumble rap and stuff. Or you're smoking, you need to stop smoking, okay? They need to get rid of drugs altogether. Basically what cancel culture is. It's like, you're canceling things because you and a whole bunch of other people don't like it, and then these other people like, man, can't we just do this? And then you're like, no, you can't, because it's not cool. And it's like, let them do what they do. If they're smoking, then let them do that. Like, people just think that when they have they found the riches to life, and this is how I live longer or whatever, and it's like, wow. And then you force it upon somebody else, and they're like, man, I still want to do this. Just let me do what I do. And you're like, no. You're basically cancel culturing. Like, you're just doing that because you're like, you don't think it's cool. So somebody else shouldn't think it's cool as well. And what, like I said, what people like is other people agreeing with them on this. And then they make it a fact. Just like the dictionary makes words that don't make any sense, that shouldn't be in the dictionary, in the dictionary. People are just saying things that are saying, oh, this is fact, because everybody says it. If everybody says it, obviously it's a fact, but it's not. Just because everybody says a certain thing doesn't mean it's correct. Because you gotta think about it in other ways that other people who are knowledgeable, have all these degrees, or were in college, don't think about, because they just sit there and their whole entire thing thinking they know everything. And then they turn around and watch other people's videos of people saying certain things, and they think about like, maybe I was wrong, you know? You gotta be willing to think further than your perspective on things. When they say jump in somebody else's shoes, literally do that with their mind and everything else. Maybe they don't want to do this. Maybe they want to do what they want to do. Let them do what they want to do. Stop canceling everything just because you don't like it. And that's basically in common what I said before. Stop forcing people to do what they don't want to do. Just because you did it doesn't mean somebody else does it. Just because you don't like something doesn't mean somebody else isn't going to like the same thing. Or they do like it and you don't like it, and somebody else is like, nah, I like both, or whatever. Other things that people do. Just stop trying to get everybody to do what you're doing. Because you're literally looking stupid by doing it, and everybody else who is agreeing with you is stupid. Like I said, there's always two sides to one story or life. And people always think that their side is always right. But in reality, it's not. It's wrong. Because when you think about it in another way, you realize that maybe they want to do this. Maybe they want to make a movie like this. Maybe they want to make a game like this. Let them do what they do. Worry about you and about your life and how it's going. If you want to do that, do that. Nobody's stopping you, so you shouldn't be stopping no one else. And it's like you've been told in school or high school is if you want to be mean to somebody, right? I think people in my high school they said this because if someone's being mean, if you're being mean to somebody and they don't like it, don't be mean to them and then not expect somebody to be mean to you and you being like, no, man, they were mean to me. Well, you was mean to that person, so why not somebody be mean to you? Don't be mean to somebody else if you don't want somebody else to be mean to you. And it goes for this. Don't tell people how to live their lives. If you don't want nobody to tell you how to run your life, then you shouldn't tell somebody else how to live their lives. And I think I know that's the whole entire thing. People like to make that mistake that, oh, I know how life goes. Like, no, you really don't. You're more disillusioned than everybody else here. Anyway, I'm out here. See you guys next time.